What could possibly drive a man to such heinous acts of violence against innocent children? This question lingers in the air as we delve into the chilling case of a man from Baytown, Texas. A man who, in a shocking turn of events, has been sentenced to a hefty 50 years behind bars for the molestation of 3 young girls, one of whom was a mere 8 years of age. This dark tale unfolded in a quiet corner of the Lone Star State, shaking the community to its core. The details, though will spare you the most distressing specifics, are enough to send shivers down the spine of even the most hardened. The audacity, the brazen disregard for the innocence of childhood, it's enough to make one's blood boil. This man, a wolf in sheep's clothing, lurked amongst the unsuspecting residents of Baytown, preying on the vulnerability of youth. His crimes, unspeakable, his actions unforgivable, yet it's important to remember that justice, though sometimes slow, is relentless in its pursuit. The monster, as many in the community have begun to call him, will now face decades behind bars for his unspeakable crimes. Justice, as they say, can often be a long and winding road. The trial was no different. The courtroom was a battleground where the facts were laid bare, testimonies were heard, and the innocence of 3 young girls hung in the balance. The evidence was damning, painting a picture of a man who had used his position of trust to exploit the most vulnerable among us. The defense, on the other hand, tried to poke holes in the prosecution's case, arguing for the man's innocence and pleading for mercy. But the emotions ran high. Imagine the courage it took for these young victims to stand up in court, to face their abuser and to recount the horrors they had suffered. Their bravery was palpable, their determination undeniable. The courtroom was filled with a mix of sorrow, anger, and anticipation as everyone awaited the jury's verdict. At this point, if you find this content both informative and thought-provoking, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us continue to bring you stories like this one, stories that matter. The moment of truth arrived after days of deliberation. The jury, having weighed the evidence and heard the testimonies, found the man guilty of his horrendous crimes. The relief in the courtroom was almost tangible, a heavy burden lifted from the shoulders of the victims and their families. They had fought for justice, and justice had been served. In the end, the jury's decision sent a clear message. Such acts will not be tolerated, and justice will be served. But what happens after the gavel falls and the courtroom empties? The echoes of the verdict reverberate far beyond the confines of the courtroom. The victims, 3 young girls and their families, confront a harsh reality, forever imprinted by the scars of their past. They embark on a long, arduous journey towards healing, a path paved with therapy sessions, tears, and the relentless quest for normalcy. The community, too, bears the weight of this heinous crime. The once tranquil town of Baytown is left with a haunting spectre of mistrust and fear, its peace shattered by the cruel actions of one man. Yet, in the face of adversity, the townsfolk rally together, their unity a stark response to the discord sown by the criminal. But it doesn't end there. This case has far-reaching implications for child protection and law enforcement, sparking a much-needed conversation about safeguarding our children. It highlights the urgent need for stringent measures, rigorous law enforcement, and comprehensive support systems for victims. In the aftermath, a silver lining emerges. Changes are being proposed, changes that aim to strengthen child protection laws and enhance support for victims. The community rallies to ensure that their children can grow up in a safe environment. The tragedy has catalyzed a movement, a collective effort to ensure that no child has to endure such a harrowing ordeal again. While this story is a tragic one, it serves as a potent reminder of the need for vigilance, the importance of justice, and the resilience of those who survive such unspeakable acts.